All right, we're going to talk to Ali in Dubai. Are you there, Ali?
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
We
Yes.
can.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Not bad, not
But,
bad.
but before you start, can I ask, how'd you hear about us? Have you been watching or did you just see us online?
Internet. I was looking for pranks on YouTube,
Okay.
Okay.
and I saw one of your things, and then I watched a few episodes, and I thought I'd just call in and give my 2 cents.
Okay, well,
Okay.
nice to have you on. What's up?
Well, basically, I would like to start with kind of like a premise.
Okay.
I'm a creationist, but I'm not religious, and
Okay.
that's probably something you haven't heard very often. But it starts with this. It's to the roots of. Let's talk about the roots of atheism.
Okay. What are the roots of atheism?
So you
Well,
definitely are a theist, right? You believe in
I
God.
believe that there's a creator,
Okay.
but I'm not subscribed to any such religion totally. If that
Okay,
makes
so
sense.
so you're not part of a formal organized religion, but you do believe in and worship question mark this creator or not?
I, no, I don't worship.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, everyone has their own ways, I guess, of worship. If you believe there was a creator, you would have some kind of spiritual connection, so to speak. But I don't do any
Not necessarily. I mean,
9 to 5 religious rituals, basically.
Okay.
Okay.
So what do
this
you
is
what do you
my-
think
my
are the
point.
roots of
Well,
atheism?
this is the point I wanted to make. Would you agree that your beliefs of atheism are rationalized based on your understanding of your reality, your construct of the universe, e.g., how old you think the world is, the way the world goes around the sun,
No.
the
no, I didn't
wouldn't.
start by knowing all that scientific stuff and then decide there was no God.
Yeah.
I would agree. I agree with that because I was an atheist as well at one point.
Okay?
But let's put it this way: hypothetical question. If you believe that there was a glass dome in the sky, for example, you
What?
would then have to
Glass
rationally
dome.
Oh,
just a second.
yes.
You would then have to rationally accept that it's more likely that that was created by a creator than it came out of nowhere.
I don't know.
Agreed?
It depends on the circumstances.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's a bizarre
agree
thing
that-
to be talking about, but okay, I'll
Well, give me a second because it has to lead somewhere. Any good argument starts primitively. If you believe that, say, in evolution as you do, and you believe that the Earth goes around the sun and we're in an infinite universe and there's billions of stars and billions of galaxies, it's a natural assumption that there is no creator. It makes no sense. Correct? It's a natural assumption.
I don't know what that
Well-
has to do with the claim that a God exists.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I'm
I don't
getting-
think
Or
the
that-
one
a
follows
rejection
from
of
the
that.
other.
I'm
Yeah.
getting, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Yeah, but
If
you
you,
just
however,
you just
say-
asked if we agree with something, and we said no. So I hope your argument will incorporate that.
But it's
Yeah.
not. Well, it is. It will incorporate that.
Okay.
Okay.
If you, again, continuing from what I was saying, if you believe those things, it's a natural assumption that there wouldn't be a God.
We
No,
just said
we
we don't
disagree
agree
with
with
that.
that. So get off the script.
I'm not on a script. I'm trying to continue. I'm trying to get to what
Okay.
I'm saying. I'm
So
saying
Okay.
if
we
you-
disagree
if
with
you-
your claim.
if you woke up one day from scratch, let's say you were born, but you somehow had a conscious mind and you were able to understand things, and you were in a perfectly designed box, for example, and it had a very organized structure, which you
If
could
I-
recognize, and it wasn't a random sort of infinite galactical universe. You're more inclined to believe that it was structured in some way, correct?
If I didn't have any direct experience of other people or any other intelligence outside my own, but somehow I magically developed the knowledge without being taught anything, it would be hard for me to conceive of a creator, considering that I wouldn't know any other people exist.
Yeah.
I agree with
So
that.
that's
Okay,
a
well,
weird
let me
counterfactual.
let me just put my facts forward because we'll just run around in circles otherwise.
Okay.
I assume that you believe that the moon reflects the sunlight of the sun to the earth?
I think that's been pretty
Yeah.
well established.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's an experiment I encourage everyone to do, something that you can do yourself,
Okay.
and it will provide undeniable proof that the moon does in fact produce its own light. Now here's the experiment.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a thermometer, preferably when it's a full moon because the moonlight is strongest. And if you get two sets of thermometers or any temperature measuring device, you put one exposed to the moonlight and one in the exact same atmosphere except shaded by the moonlight. The one which is exposed to the moonlight will be measurably cooler because moonlight actually has a cooling effect, not a heating
What?
effect.
What?
I don't believe that's true.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
Well, it doesn't necessarily matter if you believe it. It's something that you can do tonight in your own garden.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we can't do the experiment while you're here on the call. So
Yeah.
you just saying
that's
that thing.
true. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. But you can do it tonight, and you can find out, and people listening can do it tonight and find out. And if it is true, would you then accept that what you've been taught about what the moon actually is and what the sun actually is and the construct of your universe is not actually true?
No, I
And
would.
if the moon, well, just give me a
If that
second.
turns
The
out
moon
to be
doesn't-
true, I would assume that I don't understand the way light and heat work the way
Yeah.
I do, since I'm not a physicist.
Yeah, I would
So
investigate
would
why.
I would look and try
anomalous.
to try to see what people more credible than you have said about that.
Well, it's irrelevant about credibility. If you understand
No,
that-
that's very relevant.
Yeah,
It's not, that's an
if
argument
you're
of
going to
ignorance.
spout a bunch of stuff about how stuff works, I'm going to want to know why you think you know that.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm not spouting. You can do this experiment by yourself. You can measure it by yourself. Anyone can measure it by themselves. It doesn't take a science genius to get a thermometer and put two and two together and realize that the moonlight gives a cooling light. And
Even if that turns out to be true, I still wouldn't see what that has to do with a god.
Yeah.
well, I'll tell you. If it's true, then it is true also that we have been lied to about what the moon actually is, what the sun actually is, the distance of the Earth and the distance of the sun and the moon to the Earth, and the entire construct of reality will come off that fact. It's first like in the same way that you tell people who believe in religion to break free of their sort of the bindingness of their religious beliefs, which is just faith-based, in the same way that you have this atheistic
It sounds
dogma.
like you're
It's a
asking me.
dogma.
It sounds like you're asking me if it turned out that I was mistaken about a scientific fact, or perhaps
Yes.
my science teachers had deliberately misled me in some way. Would I immediately accept that everything you believe about a creator is true?
No.
And the answer is
I'm
no.
not saying that. Of course not. Of course not. But would it then lead you to question many other things about your reality?
Well, you do realize we've been to the moon, right? We have some
Like,
rocks.
not us personally.
Not us personally, but
Wait.
humans have been to the
Can I ask
moon.
you a question? Can I
Yeah.
ask you a question? Because you're on camera right now, and I don't mean to sound offensive, not at all. I respect you guys. Okay. Have you seen? You actually believe that? You honestly believe that?
Yes. Yes.
Have you seen the footage of that? It's
Yes.
like the
Humans
Stingray
have
cartoons.
humans have been to
late
the moon.
80s. It's embarrassing for anyone over the age of 11 to actually believe that footage.
You know what's
Have you actually
embarrassing
seen that?
is to have a full-on moon hoaxer conspiracy theorist call this show and actually make
Why?
these claims.
Wait,
I actually
you
have
believe-
managed to find a discussion of this point on physicscentral.com because somebody is talking about the fact that there are a whole lot of videos out there where people take a laser-guided thermometer and point it at something.
Yeah.
Apparently that's something these videos all have in common, and he's saying, the laser thermometer doesn't actually tell you the temperature at the spot. The laser just helps you aim, and people are holding the laser in the wrong spot.
I don't know why you're talking about laser.
Have you personally done this experiment?
Yes, I have.
What kind of thermometer were you using?
I just use the basic thermometer because the like a mercury one.
Like, did you
Because
lay it on the ground? I don't
No,
even
I didn't
care
lay it on
about
the
this
ground.
experiment, really.
Yeah, really.
This is a weird
Well,
line of questioning.
if you had deductive reasoning, one thing leads to the other, correct? If you know that the
I don't
wait,
think I don't think you're doing the deductive reasoning thing right.
Yeah.
Well, you're just sort of like bickering at me now instead of listening to what I'm saying and actually responding.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, you
that's true.
keep repeating
You're a
this thing over
conspiracy
and over that
theorist.
you're expecting us to
I'm not
just
repeating
believe
anything.
and grant you, and we don't.
You answered me by saying that we've gone to the moon, and yet many people know like that didn't happen. So you can't use that as an answer.
Oh.
Saying,
Did he already say that and I missed it?
Yes,
Okay,
he's a moon hoax.
sorry, I was
conspiracy
busy
theorist.
looking up
Yes.
stuff on physics.
Yes. So do you think we have a rover on Mars, or is that a hoax too?
you believe in that?
I
Yes.
actually worked on a part of that project, so yeah, I do believe in that.
So did I. Does that make it true?
Yeah, I
Some
kind of
people
know
showed
the
you-
guys
I
who
kinda
did
don't
that.
believe you.
Someone showed you a CGI
When
footage
you are a
of
guy
something-
who's saying that everything we've been taught about physics is a lie, I have a hard time believing that you are a person who works with...
you laugh at people who say that everything they've learned about God from the Bible is wrong. It's the same thing. Let's talk
No,
about
it's not.
cold, hard facts. Let's talk about cold, hard facts. I'm telling you that the moon produces its own light, which is a cooling light, therefore cannot reflect the sun's heating light. If you have something to counter that, I'm willing to hear it. If you don't, you have to consider it and move on.
No, we don't. We can actually say you're full of shit because the scientific community, there's a consensus around this, and you're wrong.
Do that experiment because that will lead to the truth. That will lead them to know that the Earth, the sun, the moon produces its own light.
So, hey, we got a lot of listeners. Can we please get somebody to go ahead and do this moon experiment at home and email us?
Please do the moon experiment.
Make sure it's best to do it on a full moon, and it's best to make sure to make the experiment fair that one thermometer is exposed to the moonlight and one is not, but in the same environment.
All right.
And
I will keep an eye out. I will keep an eye out for people who have done this experiment over the last week and post some of the emails we get to freethoughtblogs.com/AXP. So come back a little later and check that out.
Thank you for your time. Can I make one more point? Thank you. Just one more point, yeah. Anyone with, if a lot of people, we all wake up every day, or some of us do at least, and we look outside and we see the moon and we see the sun and we see these things and we assume that what we've been told about them is true because it's brainwashed into our mind in the same way that a religious person will be brainwashed. It's the same thing, and it's just taught to us as science in a religious sense. Anyone, if you look at the moon, it's told to us that it's a sphere. It cannot reflect light in the way that they're saying it is. If you look at the phases of the moon, a sphere cannot give you a full face if it's reflecting light. You look at a billiard ball in a pool hall.
So the moon's not a sphere? Is that what you're saying?
Apparently it's not a sphere.
The moon's not a sphere, everybody. That's what you get from believing in God.
Did I say the moon's not a sphere, or did I say the moon cannot reflect light like that? I said the moon produces its own light. By the way, that's what's written in scriptures. Just another thing, you shouldn't be so...
Which scriptures?
Yeah.
Well, in the Quran it says that the moon
in the Quran,
its own light. And I believe in the Bible it has references that indicate that. I'm not sure if it says that completely, but it says that the moon produces its own light. And that's where all the symbolism of feminism and masculinism comes from as well. The sun is given as the masculine sort of deity in a sense, and the moon is a feminine because the moon produces its own light.
That's fascinating, dude.
Everything that's been taught about the universe and all this star is science fiction, and that's what leads to atheism.
Cool story. We'll talk to you some other time. Bye.
Wow.
Yeah. No, but seriously, write in with the results of that experiment.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I have a thermometer or feel like making the effort to get one, but I will totally listen to what the viewers write in.
I think my meat thermometer is going to give an accurate enough
I
resolution.
mean, this is interesting because the experiment must measure a pretty big difference in moonlight and sunlight, because if you if you just point it and like it changes like 1/10 of a degree, you wouldn't notice that. So I mean, the moon must be several degrees cooler than the shade, apparently. So let's hear those results.
Yep.
freethoughtblogs.com/AXP. Check in the next week.